I've been following this whole question of whether or not the Ukrainians will launch a major offensive this spring against the Russians. And it's very clear that what the Americans are thinking is that if Ukraine launches an offensive this spring, given the weaponry we've given the Ukrainians, they will not defeat the Russians decisively, but they will deliver a really serious blow to Russia. That will lead the Russians to the negotiating table. The Americans will put pressure on the Ukrainians to go to the negotiating table. And remember, the Americans have a lot of leverage over Ukraine because we're bankrolling them and providing them with weapons.
Right.
We'll get both sides to the negotiating table. We'll reach a deal. We'll shut down the Ukraine war, right? That will alleviate a lot of the economic problems and political problems that you were describing, right? And it will allow the United States to focus on China. This is a pipe dream. This is not going to happen. The Ukrainians, if they launch a major offensive, are going to get clobbered. I could lay out the reasons for that. And even if I'm wrong and the Ukrainians gain substantial territory against the Russians are not going to roll over and play dead. They're going to fight back. This is a war to the death for the Russians, right? So this war is not ending anytime soon. But the point I'm making in response to your description of the situation is that we're beginning to think about how we can bring it to an end because we recognize the problems you're describing. But what I'm saying is we don't understand just how much trouble we're in. The United States made a mistake of colossal proportions in starting this war in Ukraine in April 2008, right?
Bucharest.
In the Bucharest summit, right? This was a colossal miscalculation, and we have doubled down at every point. And remember what we said in our discussion about Finland and Sweden joining the alliance. Here we are again, doubling down. And now we may have trouble in the Arctic. Well, we have trouble in the Arctic and we're having trouble in Ukraine. What does that say about our ability to focus on East Asia? Right? So the United States has gotten itself into one heap of a lot of trouble. And it's now looking for ways out. And my view is there is no way out.